description if you guys want to read it yourselves. It has a lot of content on there. But I just scrolled through it and just found some interesting articles that I thought would be kind of fun to read. But yeah, without further ado, just sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so here's the first one that I have for you guys. The Valerie Pieris Circle. A Valerie Pieris circle is a figure drawn on the Earth's surface such that the majority of the human population lives within its interior. The concept was originally popularized by a map posted on Reddit in 2013 made by a Texas ESL teacher named Ken Myers, whose username on the site gave the figure its name. Myers' original circle covers only about 6.7% of the Earth's total surface area, with a radius of around 4,000 kilometers, centered in the South China Sea. The map became a popular meme and was featured in numerous internet media outlets. Myers' original map uses the Winkle triple projection, which means that his circle, not having been adjusted to the projection, does not correspond to a circle on the surface of a sphere. Okay, the next one I have is the Gate Tower Building. The Gate Tower Building is a 16-floor office building in Osaka, Japan. It is notable for the highway off-ramp that passes through the building. The building has a double-core construction with a circular cross-section. The Umeda exit of the Akita route, I'm butchering all of this, of the Hanshin Expressway system passes through the 5th through 7th floors of the building. The highway is effectively the tenant of those floors. The elevator passes through the floors without stopping, with floor 4 being followed by floor 8. The floors through which the highway passes consist of elevators, stairways, and machinery. The highway does not make contact with the building. It passes through as a bridge held up by supports next to the building. The highway is surrounded by a structure to protect the building from noise and vibration, and the roof of the building has a helipad. Very interesting. There's a photo of it on the Wiki page, and there's like a building with like a full-on like road running through it. So that's very interesting. Alright, the next page is the criterion of embarrassment. The criterion of embarrassment is a type of biblical historical analysis in which a historical account is deemed likely to be true under the inference that the author would have no reason to invent a historical account which might embarrass them. Certain biblical scholars have used this metric for assessing whether the New Testament's accounts of Jesus' actions and words are historically probable. The criterion of embarrassment is one of the criteria of authenticity used in academics, the others being the criterion of dissimilarity, the criterion of language and environment, criterion of coherence, and the criterion of multiple attestation. Okay, so it's like, if it's so embarrassing, why would the author write about themselves in that way? Then it has to be true. I don't know if I buy that. I'll be real. Okay, the next page is John the First of France. Okay, John the First, called the Posthumous. So John the First, the Posthumous, was king of France and Navarre as the posthumous son and successor of Louis X for the 4 days that he lived in 1316. He is the youngest person to be king of France, the only one to have borne that title from birth, and the only one to hold the title for his entire life. His reign is the shortest of any undisputed French king. Although considered a king today, his status was not recognized until chroniclers and historians in later centuries began numbering John II, thereby acknowledging John I's reign. Wow, okay. John reigned for 4 days under the regency of his uncle, Philip V of France, until his death on the 19th of November, 1316. Wow, so basically, they had a child be king the second that he was born, but the child only lived like 5 days. And yeah, that's it. Okay. The next page is the Phantom Time Conspiracy Theory. The Phantom Time Conspiracy Theory is a pseudo-historical conspiracy theory first asserted by Heribert Illig in 1991. It hypothesizes a conspiracy by the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and possibly the Byzantine Emperor of Constantine VII, to fabricate the Anno Domini dating system retroactively in order to place them at the special year of AD 1000, and to rewrite history to legitimize Otto's claim to the Holy Roman Empire. Illig believed that this was achieved through the alteration, misrepresentation, and forgery of documentary and physical evidence. According to this scenario, the entire Carolingian period, including the figure of Charlemagne, is fake, with a phantom time of about 300 years. So basically they made up 300 years of history just to make themselves look cooler. I don't know. I've actually heard of that one. Okay, the next one is the Watermelon Riot. The Watermelon Riot occurred on the evening of April 15th, 1856, in Panama City, which was the capital of Panama in the Republic of New Granada, after an American took a slice of watermelon from a street vendor and refused to pay for it. A verbal altercation ensued and then quickly escalated when shots were fired. An angry mob of locals converged on the site and began fighting with the Americans. Before order could be restored, at least 15 Americans and 2 Panamanians were killed. American businesses, including the railroad station, were extensively damaged or destroyed. Okay, next. existence of Crocker Land, a huge island supposedly sighted by the explorer Robert Peary from the top of Cape Colgate in 1906. It is now believed that Peary fraudulently invented the island. The existence or non-existence of Crocker Land became important following the controversial events of the autumn of 1909, when both Peary and Frederick Cook returned to civilization, claiming to have both reached the North Pole, since Cook claimed to have traversed the alleged region of Crocker Land and found no such land. The existence of Crocker Land would be proof of the falsity of Cook's claim, so backers of Peary's claim therefore set out to find it. But I guess they never did, huh? Okay. The next one, the Great Michigan Pizza Funeral. I saw an Instagram reel on this, like, a while ago. Anyway, the Great Michigan Pizza Funeral was the ceremonial disposal of 29,000 frozen cheese and mushroom pizzas in Michigan on March the 5th, 1973. The manufacturer, Ilario Fabbrini, had been ordered to recall the pizzas by the FDA after initial tests suggested the presence of botulism causing bacteria in a batch of canned mushrooms. Fabbrini decided to ceremonially dispose of the pizzas to demonstrate accountability and receive publicity. The pizzas were tipped into an 18-foot deep hole in the ground before a crowd of onlookers who were addressed by Michigan Governor William Milliken. Later, tests by the FDA ruled out botulism. Fabbrini then sued his suppliers, and the Michigan Court of Appeals awarded him $200,000 in 1979, though he did unfortunately close his business a few years later. Oh, what the heck? Did that make him go out of business? I wonder. Wow, so the bacteria wasn't even there in the first place. Okay, the next one I have is the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist. The Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist was the theft of over several months in 2011 and 2012 of nearly 3,000 tons of maple syrup, which was valued at almost 19 million Canadian dollars, which is now 24 million Canadian dollars as of 2023. All stolen from a storage facility in Quebec. The facility was operated by the Federation of Quebec Maple Syrup Producers, which represents 77% of the global maple syrup supply. Adjusted for inflation, the heist is the most valuable heist in all Canadian history. Of course, the most valuable heist is syrup in Canada. Okay. Theft over the course of several months between 2011 and 2012, the content of 9,571 barrels, valued at $18.7 million, were stolen in a suspected insider job from a FPAC facility. The syrup was stored in unmarked white metal barrels a year. Thieves used the trucks to transport the barrels to a remote sugar shack where they siphoned off the maple syrup, refilled the barrels with water, then returned them to the facility. As the operation progressed, the thieves started siphoning syrup directly off barrels in the reserve without refilling them. The stolen syrup was trucked to the south and east, where it was trafficked to many small batches to reduce suspicion. It was typically sold to legitimate syrup distributors who were unaware of the theft. In 2012, the police arrested 17 men related to the theft. And yeah, it was all uncovered. Okay, the next one is the Pepsi fruit juice flood. The Pepsi fruit juice flood was a flood of 176,000 barrels, which was 7.4 million US gallons of fruit and vegetable juices into the streets of Lebedian, Russia, and the Don River, caused by the collapse of a PepsiCo warehouse. On April 25th, 2017, a PepsiCo warehouse's roof collapsed unexpectedly. The warehouse was located in Lebedian, the center of Pepsi's operations in Russia, and operated by the PepsiCo subsidiary, Lebediansky. The warehouse contained a variety of fruit and vegetable juices. The collapse of the roof caused 2 minor injuries and sent 28 million liters of juices into the streets of Lebedian and the Don River. However, fortunately, no deaths were resulted from the spill. There was some concern that the juices may have damaged the aquatic ecosystem of the Don River, but water samples showed no evidence of environmental damage. PepsiCo officials apologized for the incident, offered to pay for all damages caused, and stated that they were working with local officials to determine the cause of the warehouse collapse. That reminds me of that one spillage of molasses, the molasses flood. I think Salmonella did a video on that. I remember that. Anyway, the next one is nuclear. Nuclear is a common pronunciation of the word nuclear, and it is actually mentioned in the Oxford English Dictionary. Okay, the U.S. Presidents Dwight D. Eisenhower, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Vice President Walter Mondale have used the nuclear pronunciation in his 2005 book, Going Nuclear. Linguist Geoffrey Nunberg suggested that the president's reasons for their differing pronunciations may be distinct. Alright, the next page I have is the Raven paradox. The Raven paradox, also known as Hempel's paradox, or rarely the paradox of indoor ornithology, is a paradox arising from the question of what constitutes evidence for the truth of a statement. Observing objects that are neither black nor ravens may formally increase the likelihood that all ravens are black, even though intuitively these observations are unrelated. this problem was proposed by the logician Carl Gustav Hempel in the 1940s. So, the hypothesis is, 1. All ravens are black. In the form of an implication, this can be expressed as, if something is a raven, then it is black. And via contraposition, this statement is equivalent to, if something is not black, then it is not a raven. Oh, I see. Okay. Weird. Okay, the next one I have is Bodie McBoatface. Okay, so this is a British lead boat in the fleet of 3 robotic vehicles of the Auto Sub Long Range class, launched in 2017 and carried on board the Polar Scientific Research Vessel, the RRS Sir David Attenborough. She is a focal point of the Polar Explorer program of the UK government. Bodie and her 2 fleet mates are part of the UK National Marine Equipment Pool and owned by the National Oceanography Centre in Southampton. I see, okay. So it's basically like a remote control submarine, for like research purposes. Okay, the name Bodie McBoatface was originally proposed in a March 2016 online poll to name the 200 million pound Polar Scientific Research ship being constructed. The suggestion, Bodie McBoatface, quickly became the most popular choice for the online poll with 33% of the vote. I feel like whenever anybody tries to do something like this, like they try to do like a poll online, somebody will like they'll always mess it up. Like the online community is always gonna make it really weird. So yeah, I guess there's an example of that. Okay, the next one I have is the Old Man of the Lake. The Old Man of the Lake is a 30-foot tall tree stump that has been bobbing vertically in Oregon's Crater Lake since at least 1896. The stump is about 2 feet in diameter at the waterline and stands approximately 4 feet above the water. Its surface has been bleached white due to photo degradation. The exposed end of the floating tree is splintered and worn, but wide and buoyant enough to support a person's weight. As of January 2012, tour boats regularly pass the Old Man on their journeys to view the sights around Crater Lake. Due to the lake's water clarity, the entire submerged section of the tree's trunk can be seen below the waterline. For those that don't know, Crater Lake is it's like a volcano that exploded, and then like the crater that exploded off from the mountain became a lake, and so there's no entry point or exit, like there's no rivers going in and out of the lake, so that's probably why it's just been there, just trapped forever. Very interesting. Okay, and then the very last Wikipedia page that I have for you guys is the Centennial Light. So the Centennial Light is an incandescent light bulb recognized as the oldest known continuously operating light bulb. It was first illuminated in 1901 and has been turned off a few brief viewing. Due to its longevity, the bulb has been noted by the Guinness Book of World Records and General Electric. The handmade light bulb was originally manufactured by the Shelby Electric Company of Shelby, Ohio, towards the end of the 1890s and donated to the Livermore Pleasanton Fire Department in 1901. It has been relocated several times since and remains in the care of the fire department to this day. The bulb's longevity has been attributed to the high quality of its manufacture, it being seldom turned off, and its low wattage. Originally a 60-watt bulb, the light has been, for many years, emitted dim light equivalent to a 4-watt bulb, about the strength of a night